The entertainment world has always thrived on glittering illusions. Under the blinding stage lights and camera flashes, celebrities weave tales of friendship, loyalty, and warmth, stories fans cling to like lifelines. But every now and then, a truth slips through the cracks, shattering the image we thought was real. This time, it is the story of Wang Yibo and Xiaojan, once hailed as the golden duo of Chinese entertainment, their chemistry so palpable it blurred the lines between fiction and reality. Fans believed their bond was unshakable. They believed in the way Wang Yibo would smile at Xiaojan during interviews, in the way Xiaojan seemed to watch out for him on set, in the whispered rumors that theirs was a connection far deeper than co-star camaraderie. For years, that belief became a beautiful lie people were willing to protect at all costs, until now. A chilling rumor has set the entertainment industry ablaze. Wang Yibo never loved Xiaojan. Not as a friend, not as a brother, and certainly not in the way millions of fans had hoped. The claim isn't just gossip. It's a detonation that has sent shockwaves through social media, dividing fans and exposing the fragile nature of celebrity relationships. People can't decide if they're in denial, disbelief, or mourning the end of a fantasy they thought was untouchable. The first tremor came quietly. An anonymous post appeared on a gossip forum, dismissed at first as clickbait nonsense. But the words were too precise, too cutting to ignore. Yibo is professional. He respects Xiaojan as a co-star, but love? Affection? No. Everything you saw was for the cameras. Nothing more, nothing less. Most brushed it off, accusing the poster of stirring up trouble. After all, the entertainment industry has long been plagued by jealous nobodies trying to spark controversy. But then came the pictures. Grainy, low-light photographs from what appeared to be a private dinner surfaced online. They showed Wang Yibo leaning over a table, deep in conversation with friends. His expression was relaxed, unguarded, nothing like the poised image fans are used to. The audio was absent, but lip readers claimed they could make out one damning sentence. I was never close to him. We just worked together. That was all it took. The post that had been ignored only hours earlier exploded across the internet, fueling heated debates. Fans began combing through every interview, every behind-the-scenes clip, every fan meeting video they had collected over the years. The same interactions they once swore proved the duo's closeness suddenly looked different. Was that smile forced? Was that pat on the shoulder staged? Was every laugh rehearsed? Insiders began to emerge, cautiously at first, their voices disguised, their names withheld. One claimed to have worked on the set of the Untamed, the drama that catapulted the pair into superstardom. They weren't enemies, but they weren't friends either, the source said. They were professionals doing a job. When the cameras stopped rolling, they went their separate ways. The warmth you saw, that was acting. Yibo is very private, very guarded. Xiaojan is warm and approachable, but Yibo never opened up to him off-set. Another insider suggested that both of their management teams had encouraged the bromance narrative to drive fan engagement. It was gold for the marketing department. Their chemistry sold tickets, boosted ratings, and created endless buzz. Both sides played along because it benefited them professionally. Suddenly, what had been painted as an unshakable friendship began to look suspiciously like a business transaction. And then the silence came. Xiaojan did not defend Wang Yibo. Wang Yibo did not reach out publicly to Xiaojan. Instead, they both went about their lives as if the other didn't exist. The absence of any show of support became a glaring void. Fans remembered how, during a major controversy Xiaojan faced last year, Wang Yibo stayed completely silent. At the time, it was chalked up to strategic image management. But now, some saw it differently, less as calculated professionalism and more as genuine indifference. The divide in the fandom grew vicious. Loyalists insisted that the bond was real, that years of shared moments could not be reduced to an illusion. They accused the rumor-mongers of twisting the truth and erasing the joy those interactions had brought. Others, however, were convinced they'd been played, that they had fallen victim to one of the oldest tricks in the entertainment playbook, selling relationships, platonic or otherwise, as a product. And make no mistake, It had been a lucrative product. The pairing of Wang Yibo and Xiaojan generated millions in revenue through endorsements, merchandise, and international promotions. Their fanbase didn't just consume their drama, they consumed the idea of them. Every interview, every variety show appearance, every candid shot taken by paparazzi was analyzed, adored, and archived as evidence of something beautiful. If it was all an act, then fans had willingly financed a lie. Xiao Zhan's recent behavior has done little to calm the storm. During a fan event, someone shouted, "We miss you with Yibo." The crowd hushed, waiting for his reaction. Xiao Zhan smiled politely and replied, "I'm grateful for every colleague I've worked with, and I hope everyone continues to support our individual journeys." Diplomatic, polished, but the warmth was gone. To some, that single moment spoke volumes, either of hurt or of a desire to finally close that chapter. Insiders whisper that Xiaojan may have been blindsided by Yibo's alleged comments. "He truly thought they were friends," one said. "He never saw it as an act." Hearing that Yibo may never have cared for him hit him harder than he's willing to admit publicly. Wang Yibo, for his part, has remained completely silent, neither confirming nor denying the rumors. For some, that silence is damning. For others, it's proof he refuses to dignify baseless gossip with a response. But in the world of celebrity, silence often speaks louder than words, and right now, it's echoing through an industry that thrives on perception. The two have not been photographed together in public for over a year. Their last known interaction was a brief nod at an award show, a gesture so small yet dissected for hours by fans desperate to find meaning in it. Outside of that, they walk separate paths. Xiao Zhan pours himself into acting and charity work. Wang Yibo focuses on films, endorsements, and his motorcycle racing career. There's no overlap, no visible bridge connecting them anymore. The illusion that once glued their images together has dissolved, leaving only speculation in its place. This entire saga has reignited a larger conversation about authenticity in the entertainment world. How many celebrity friendships are real? How many are carefully choreographed performances designed to keep the public emotionally invested? Fans are waking up to the uncomfortable truth that in this business, even the warmest smiles might be rehearsed, and the most heartfelt gestures could be written into a script long before the cameras roll. Some are angry at Wang Yibo for allegedly deceiving the public. Others are angry at the industry itself for treating human connections as marketing strategies. And there are those who are simply sad, mourning the loss of something they once believed was genuine. The hashtags tell the story of a divided fandom. Hashtag Yibo never loved Xiaojan. Hashtag protect Xiaojan. Hashtag fake news. Hashtag support Yibo. Social media has become a battleground of edits, screenshots, and emotional confessions from fans who feel betrayed. Some vow to never ship celebrities again. Others double down, insisting that no rumor can erase the magic they felt. The war of words rages on, with neither of the two men stepping forward to end it. And perhaps that's the cruelest part. They could end the speculation in a moment, one joint statement, one public show of unity, but instead, they remain silent, letting the storm feed on itself. Was it all a misunderstanding, a private comment twisted out of context? Was it calculated PR, a long-running act designed to sell a fantasy? Or was it simply the inevitable drift between two people who once worked closely but were never destined to be friends? The truth may never come to light. In the meantime, the fans are left with fragments, smiles in interviews, stolen glances on red carpets, moments that now feel like scenes from a movie rather than reality. And maybe that's what stings the most. For years, the image of Wang Yibo and Xiaojan together brought joy, comfort, and even hope to millions. Now, those same fans are left wondering if they were clapping for a performance that ended long before the curtain came down. Perhaps the real lesson here is that in an industry built on illusion, the line between truth and fiction is so thin it can disappear entirely. And when it does, it doesn't just take away the story, it takes away the magic. But the story was far from over. The revelation that Wang Yibo may have never loved Xiaojan had already shaken the industry, but in the days that followed, the tension only deepened. New whispers began to circulate, and they were far more dangerous than the initial claim. A leaked message thread allegedly between two entertainment journalists hinted that there was more to the rift than the public knew. One message read, "There was an incident during filming, something that made Yibo pull back completely. He never forgave it." The other journalist replied with just 3 chilling words, "It was personal." Fans went into overdrive, trying to guess what could have happened. Was it a betrayal? A misunderstanding blown out of proportion? Or something involving outside influences, like management interference? Conspiracy threads multiplied overnight, each claiming to have the real truth, but none with proof solid enough to settle the debate. Then came the paparazzi shots. Wang Yibo was spotted at a private club, laughing with a small group of friends, looking completely unbothered by the storm raging online. Meanwhile, Xiaojan was photographed leaving a quiet cafe alone, head down, face hidden behind a cap and mask. The stark difference in their demeanors only fueled more speculation. Was Yibo completely detached from the situation, or was he simply hiding his feelings better? Was Xiaojan hurt, or was he quietly plotting his own response? The entertainment press, sensing blood in the water, began reaching out to anyone who had ever worked with the pair. Most declined to comment, but a former stylist made a cryptic post on her private social media. "Not all smiles are real. Not all friendships are worth keeping." Screenshots of her post spread like wildfire, with fans dissecting every possible hidden meaning. What struck many observers was how both stars continued to maintain complete silence. Their teams refused to issue statements, their social media accounts remained focused on work, and neither acknowledged the growing frenzy. Some analysts claimed this was a deliberate PR strategy. By not engaging, they could let the news cycle burn out. But others argued that the silence was a tacit confirmation that there was truth to the rumors. Weeks passed, and the story began to take on a life of its own. Fan-made documentaries started appearing on YouTube, complete with timelines, evidence, and slow-motion analysis of old interactions. Every smile, every glance, every joke from the past was replayed under a new, darker lens. The magic that once felt effortless now appeared staged to those who had once sworn it was genuine. But there was one moment that stopped everyone cold. A video resurfaced from the early days of the Untamed's promotion. In it, Xiao Zhan is asked what he admires most about Wang Yibo. He pauses, smiles warmly, and says, "He's someone you can trust. He may not talk much, but when he's with you, you feel safe." That clip hit differently now. In light of recent revelations, the trust Xiao Zhan spoke of seemed like a wound, not a strength. And still, the fandom clung to hope. Deep down, some couldn't let go of the possibility that the truth was being twisted beyond recognition, that somewhere behind the silence, there was still a story of brotherhood waiting to be told. They flooded both stars' social media with messages begging them to talk, to tell their side, to prove everyone wrong. But as each day passed without a word, hope began to fade. In private group chats, the most dedicated fans started discussing the unthinkable. What if this was the end? What if the days of seeing Wang Yibo and Xiaojan side by side were truly over? The realization hit hard. It wasn't just the potential friendship that was gone. It was an era of fan edits, live-streamed interviews, award show moments, and the warm, thrilling illusion that these two stars shared a rare and unbreakable bond. Some began to turn their frustration into action, unfollowing one or both stars, deleting old posts, even selling off merchandise that once brought them joy. Others doubled down, vowing to support both men separately, insisting that whatever happened between them was none of the public's business. And then there were those who refused to believe any of it, clinging to the past with an almost desperate determination, convinced that one day they'd see their idols side by side again. As for the entertainment industry itself, it moved on quickly, at least on the surface. But behind closed doors, executives, managers, and publicists took note. The Wang Yibo, Xiaojan fallout became a cautionary tale about the dangers of building an empire on an image that might not withstand the test of time. For some, it was a reminder that the public's love can turn to suspicion in a heartbeat. For others, it was a lesson in just how much power a single rumor can wield in an industry built on illusion. And yet, even as the dust began to settle, one thing remained clear. The fascination with this story wasn't going away anytime soon. People would keep searching, keep speculating, keep watching both men for the smallest sign of acknowledgement or reconciliation. Because at its core, this wasn't just about two celebrities. It was about the human hunger for connection, for believing in something beautiful, and the heartbreak of discovering it might have been nothing more than a story. The truth is, maybe we'll never know exactly what happened between Wang Yibo and Xiaojan. Maybe it's not for us to know. But that won't stop the whispers. It won't stop the theories. And it certainly won't stop the fans from watching, hoping, and wondering what really lies behind the smiles we once thought were real. And if this is truly the end of the Wang Yibo, Xiaojan chapter, it will be remembered not just for the joy it brought, but for the way it ended, with silence, with questions, and with the haunting possibility that the bond the world fell in love with might never have existed at all. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification button for more juicy K-drama updates. Stay connected with K-Drama Spark, where we bring you the hottest celebrity news, the deepest industry secrets, and the stories that keep you coming back for more. Because in this world of stars and secrets, there's always another twist waiting just around the corner.